Hey everybody, welcome to my overview video on Module 8, the module on individuals and identity in archaeology. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the reading, what you guys are going to watch, and any changes I've made to the outline this week. So yeah, as far as what's due this week, you guys have a discussion, finally. And as I said a couple weeks back, we're going to try to do the discussion format that I talked about in the past, where you're not going to all be commenting under the discussion module. You're going to be opening up your own discussion page in your group and be talking to each other through there, so that groups can have isolated conversations without other groups coming in, and there's not going to be as much confusion. Hopefully everybody knows who's in their groups, so that you can have one person turn in the summary at the end of the week. And I also am going to ask that people who have not done the summaries this week do the summaries, because I've already had repeats as far as the reporter goes, and some people haven't done it yet. So everyone has to do it at least one time. If you don't, I'm going to start making it reflect badly on the group. I'm either going to mark down the groups that don't interchange the people who turn in the summaries, or I'm just going to not give you credit for the summaries. So make sure that everybody does participate in reporting out. As far as the discussions go, if anyone has questions about how to set up a discussion in your group, feel free to email me. As the last time we did the discussion, or the practice time we did the discussion, the part 0 is due on Wednesday, so make sure you turn it in then. And let's see here. I think that's it as far as the discussion goes. As far as the readings go, we're going to be talking about. I mean, I'm always going to say this, but I think that this week is especially cool because we're going to be talking about individuals in the archaeological record. How can archaeologists how can we understand identity of individuals and agency when everything in the past has been centered around this sort of collective idea of what a culture was like? And there's like a few ways to do that. Just like briefly, one of the ways is history. As long as the group that you're studying has some sort of a written record of the past, you have, at least to a certain degree, an understanding of individuals, depending on what was written about those people. But of course, we don't always have written records of the past, and we very rarely have written records of individuals that we find remains of as archaeologists. But when we don't have like a history to go on, we have other tools like bioarchaeology, which is something that you guys are going to read about in the chapter this week. So we can figure out a lot about an individual by their remains, as long as they have some sort of remains to study. We can figure out how old they were according to their teeth, how developed they were, or the wear on their teeth if they're after 20 or so years old. We can tell how old they are by the fusion of their epiphysis of their long bones, and we can also tell if there was any trauma in their past by looking at what their skeletal remains were like. Those are just a few examples. We can tell if they had diseases. We can tell if they were malnourished while they were growing up and being developed. And all of this information kind of coalesces into a picture of an individual that you might find in society. A lot of the methods that you guys are going to read about this week are similar between bioarchaeologists and forensic scientists. So if you were to find the remains of an individual who was murdered in some sort of a cold case, it might be similar to finding somebody dead thousands of years ago, depending on how well they're preserved. So those are the main topics for this week. I look forward to reading what you guys have to say in your discussions, and hopefully this format will work out. And hopefully you guys don't have to worry about confusing members of your group with other groups this week, because we'll have the new discussion format. I think that's pretty much it for this week. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Always feel free to reach out to me, and I hope everyone has a fantastic week. Thank you.